Who am I? It sounds like a simple question, but have you noticed how strange it becomes the moment you try to answer it? And yet, to ask, who am I, is not quite like asking what time is it, or where did I leave my shoes? For this question unravels the asker. The moment you look for it, the eye that looks begins to melt like mist under the sun. You say, I'm Sarah, or I'm a teacher, or I'm a man. But that's just a name, a label, a profession. So you go deeper. I'm a body. I think. I feel. I have thoughts. But you have thoughts. You observe your body. Who is the one observing? Such is the game, the hide-and-seek of the self with itself. You see, the one who asks the question is the very thing being sought. And the moment you chase it, it slips away like trying to see your own eyes without a mirror, or bite your own teeth. This game has but two movements. First, the forgetting, and then perhaps a remembering, though not by grasping, nor by naming, but by the quiet and sudden recognition that you were never missing at all. We are accustomed to thinking of ourselves as things, solid, defined, with edges, names, and biographies. And so when someone asks, who are you? We reply almost instinctively, I am this, I am that. We give the name given to us at birth, perhaps mention our occupation, our lineage, and suppose this bundle of references somehow points to a real fixed me. But is that truly what you are? A name is but a sound, an echo passed from tongue to tongue, and a profession merely a function one performs among many. None of these linger with permanence. They arise like clouds and pass just the same. So we try again. Perhaps I am the body, these hands, these eyes, this breath I feel rising and falling. But the body, too, is in a state of ceaseless change. You were once a child, soft and small, and now older, taller, heavier, or thinner. You call this shape me, though nothing remains of what once was. What part of the body was always you? Perhaps then I am the mind, my thoughts, my memories. But thoughts, too, come and go. They arrive uninvited, stay a moment, and vanish like dreams upon waking. And memories, well, they are fragments, half-true stories we retell to ourselves with a voice we did not choose. So again we ask, if I am not the name, nor the role, nor the flesh, nor the thought, what remains? You see, identity as we wear it is not something solid or certain. It is a costume, an appearance, a ripple on the surface of a much deeper sea. And perhaps, to know oneself at all, one must begin by letting go of who one thought they were. Now, if we examine more closely what we call a person, we find something rather peculiar. The word itself, persona, comes from the Latin, meaning a mask, that which the actor wears upon the stage, through which the sound sonus passes. So the person, quite literally, is the mask through which a voice speaks. And is that not what we become? Masks among masks, playing out roles in the great social theater, teacher, lover, fool, friend, victim, hero, each with its proper gestures, its vocabulary, its accepted range of emotion. We put these on so early and so often that we forget we were ever without them. At a gathering, one does not simply appear, one arrives with an identity. This is Richard. He's a lawyer. This is Susan. She's a painter. And the game begins a dance of masks, each acknowledging the other by its costume. We speak to the mask, we compliment the mask, we argue with the mask, but rarely, if ever, do we encounter the one behind it. And most curious of all, we come to believe we are the role. Not playing it, being it. We become so tightly fitted to our character that the very idea of removing it feels like death. What would I be without this name, without this function, without this face I have rehearsed so carefully? You see, the tragedy is not that we play roles for even the wisest play. The tragedy is that we forget it is play at all. And so, we take the mask for the mirror and wonder why we cannot see our true reflection. There is a tale we've been told so often, and with such conviction, that we hardly recognize it as a tale at all. It goes like this. Here is you, a solitary island of flesh and thought, and over there the world, vast, external, indifferent, objects, others, forces, things, and you, this tiny, trembling observer, must make your way through it. Navigate, survive, push against it, defend yourself from it, and perhaps, if fortune smiles, find your place within it. But this story, though practical in appearance, is a fable, for in truth, there is no such thing as a separate self. No one stands apart from the universe in order to observe it. You do not come into this world, you come out of it like a wave from the sea, like a leaf from a tree. You are not outside looking in, you are inside looking through. Just as a flower is not in the field, it is the field, expressing itself as bloom. And when the eyes open, they do not see a world, they are the seeing of the world. So this boundary, this skin-deep fence we call me, is a convenient illusion, a line drawn with a crayon on the surface of the infinite. Because what you are is not a fragment apart from life, but the whole, looking at itself from a particular point of view. Not a grain of sand, but the desert, dreaming for a moment that it is small. Now, let us turn inward not into imagination, nor fantasy, but simply into that which is always here, yet so seldom noticed. For most of us suppose that we are this stream of thought, the inner chatter, the little voice that names, judges, worries, plans, the interior commentator narrating the play of life, often quite unnecessarily, and so we say, I think, therefore I am. But who, may I ask, is this I who thinks? When you observe your thoughts, truly observe them, you will find they arise quite on their own, spontaneous, unbidden, like clouds appearing in the sky. You do not summon them. They come, they go. Some loud, some soft, some bright, some heavy. And if you look a little closer, you'll see there is something else present, something that notices. You are not the thought. You are the one aware of the thought, the witness, a quiet presence behind the play, not commenting, not judging, simply there unmoved and unmoving. Just as the screen remains unchanged by the flickering images of the film, so this awareness remains untouched by whatever passes before it. You have known it in moments in the hush after a deep sigh, in the stillness of looking at a fire, in the wordless gaze shared with a lover, or the silence that follows a profound question. There in that gap you glimpse what you are, not the personality, not the voice in your head, but the open space in which all of it arises. And here, words begin to fail. For this witness cannot be grasped, it cannot be named or shown. Because anything you name is not it. Anything you observe is already something else. It is like trying to bite your own teeth, or touch the tip of your finger with the tip of the same finger. An impossible loop. This is why, in the ancient traditions, the true self was never described directly. It was spoken of by negation, not this, not that, neti neti, not the body, not the mind, not the feeling, nor the form. And yet it is. It always is. It does not come, and it does not go. It was there before you knew your name. It will be there long after the name is forgotten. You see, this awareness is not something you have. It is what you are. Not a character within the story, but the silent page upon which the story is written. The dream is filled with noise and drama, but the dreamer remains, still watching, free. And when you begin to rest in that, not as an idea, but as a direct knowing you will understand, you were never lost. You were simply pretending. Now it may occur to you, as you sit with this silent witness, that a peculiar fear begins to stir. Not the fear of monsters, or failure, or death, but something more subtle, more unsettling. The fear of nothing. Not as in boredom, but as in no thing. No fixed identity. No ground to stand on, no mask to hide behind. And this is the curious paradox. You long to know what you truly are, and yet when you begin to see it not with your mind, but with your being, you resist. You pull back as if standing at the edge of some vast abyss. You see, the ego, this mental portrait you've painted and believed, it thrives on certainty, on definition. It says, I am this, I do that. I believe in these things. That is who I am. But when the light of awareness begins to burn through the illusion, when the separate self begins to fade like mist in morning sun, the ego becomes afraid. Afraid of disappearing, afraid of what it cannot control. And so it says, quick, do something, say something, think something. It fills the room with noise. This is why most people cannot sit in silence for more than a few moments. Why they fidget, scroll, chatter, hum. For in silence, the mask begins to slip, and something deeper and vastly more spacious begins to shine through. But here is the great joke. This emptiness you fear is not empty at all. It is full of possibility, full of peace, full of a kind of gentle clarity that does not depend on thought or effort. It is, in the language of the sages, no thingness, not the absence of being, but the presence of that which cannot be named. You see, the ego imagines awakening as a kind of grand event, flashes of light, choirs of angels, some cosmic applause, but in truth, it is more like a quiet exhale, a great a soft smile in the heart that says, yes, of course, I was never that noise. I was always this stillness. This stillness is not cold, nor detached, nor dead. It is vibrantly alive. It laughs. It weeps. It moves through the world with great tenderness, but it is not caught in it. And when you no longer run from the empty space within, when you stop filling it with effort, identity, and distraction, you find at last that what you feared to face was your own face, before the world gave you a name. There is a phrase from the old Sanskrit, simple, elegant, and strangely familiar. Tat tvam asi, thou art that. It does not say you are like that, nor you could become that, but directly, unmistakably, you are that. And what is that? It is the nameless, formless source of all things, the wind and the stars, the birth and the decay, the weeping child and the falling leaf, the silence behind the sounds and the witness behind your eyes. That is not a thing among other things. It is not somewhere else, far away in a divine realm. It is here, always here. It is what you are before you called yourself me. And so, when the seers say you are that, they are not flattering you. They are not pointing to your achievements, your cleverness, or your status. They are pointing to what remains when all that falls away. Imagine for a moment you were never told who you were. No name, no country, no family history, no role to play. And imagine in that stillness, you began to sense something watching. Not someone else, but the one looking out through your eyes. That is that. And that the ground of being is not separate from anything. It shines in the eyes of a cat. It flows in the river. It burns in the sun. And it wakes up as you. But it is not yours, for there is no you apart from it to possess it. It is the play of the one, appearing as the many, as dancer and dance. Like a single ocean, waving in 1,000 directions, forgetting it is water, each wave imagines itself apart, fearing death as it crashes, never knowing it, never left the sea. But when the wave remembers not by thought, but by being then, it laughs. It laughs because the whole search was a game, a hide and seek of the self with itself. And the moment of realization does not come with thunder or applause, but with something much quieter, a breath, a stillness, a recognition so deep it does not need words. Tat tvam asi, you are that, and what a relief it is to know you need not become, nor improve, nor strive to reach what you already are. You were never anything else. Now then, if all this is so, if what you truly are is not the name, not the mask, not even the stream of thoughts that whisper, I, me, mine, then a rather strange and wonderful freedom begins to bloom. You see, most people live their lives like actors who have forgotten they're on stage. They cling to the role. They defend it, decorate it, worry endlessly about how it's being received. They cannot imagine life without it, for without the role, who would they be? But what happens when the actor remembers? Ah, now we have something different. Now, life is not a burden to be carried, it becomes a dance. You may still play a role, you'll still go to work, speak your name, pay your taxes, but you know, deep down, that it's all a kind of play, a mask worn lightly. No longer imprisoned by identity, you become fluid, spontaneous, unpredictable. As the Taoist sages say, you become like water, taking the shape of the moment, yielding yet unstoppable. You no longer need to be someone to justify your existence. You no longer need to constantly explain yourself or maintain the image others have come to expect. You are free to be nobody, and in that you find everything. The ego imagines that freedom comes from control, from building a stronger identity, a bigger story. But real freedom is the absence of that grasping. It is the ability to flow with life without clinging to a fixed position, to weep without being a victim, to laugh without being a clown, to speak truth without being a preacher, to vanish for a while and not mind that the world goes on turning. This does not mean indifference, it means intimacy. Because when you are not locked behind the walls of who you think you are, you can finally touch what is. You meet the world directly, not through the filter of a self-image, but as it is, moment by moment. This is not a withdrawal from life, but the full embrace of it. Like a dancer who no longer worries how it looks but moves because the music is playing. So then, when the wind changes, you change with it. When grief comes, you let it in not as a problem to be solved, but as a guest to be honored. And when joy arises, you laugh like a fool, not caring who's watching. For you are no longer trapped inside a mask, nor trying to polish your reflection. You have remembered that the game is meant to be played, not survived. And in playing it freely, you discover the quiet joy of being exactly what you are, not a someone, not a something, but simply this. And so we return not to a conclusion, but to the beginning, to the question that started all of this. Who am I? But notice now how different the question sounds. It is no longer a puzzle to be solved, nor a problem to be fixed, not a riddle with one right answer, but a doorway into wonder. You see, this question, who am I, was never meant to give you something. It was meant to take something away, to peel back the layers, name, belief, memory, flesh, until what remains is not a thing, but a presence, a listening stillness, a soft echo of laughter in the soul, a being that does not need to be someone in order to be real. For the truth is, you do not have a self, you do not own a soul. You are the happening, the appearing, the dance itself. And once this is seen, truly seen, you stop chasing yourself through the forest like a frightened animal. You sit down and laugh, and the trees laugh with you. It is not that the question has been answered, rather it has dissolved, and with it, so too has the one who was asking. There is no need to define what you are, just as the sky does not need to write a biography of the clouds. It watches, it allows, it is. So what are you? You are that. Before the name, before the form, before the question ever arose. And now that you know, you can forget again and live.